Today, this evening, we will try to explore the possibility of understanding what is it about. This seminar, and I am sure when you go home, you will go with something concrete to practice, to understand about life, both within and without. Modern man, amidst all worldly wisdom and external prosperity, lives under the pressure of fear, insecurity, doubt, confusion, and he is dismayed. He has lost his way because he doesn't know anything about himself. He doesn't understand the way his mind functions, the way he thinks, the way he behaves, the way he understands the universe around him. He doesn't understand the purpose of life. So inside him there is darkness, and outside there is so much prosperity that he seems to be lost. The teachings of the Upanishads are unique and wonderful for the human being, at least for the human being of our times. The word Upanishad, Up-ni, these are two prefixes added with sad, to attain what we have to attain in our daily life, the purpose of life, the goal of life, to loosen all the bondages of attachments that we strengthen in this world after we are born, to annihilate all those which we acquire, superimpositions in this world. I am this and I am this and I am this. You see. Instead of growing, we find that human society is going towards degeneration. The knowledge of Upanishads is going to help modern man. As our physical science has some discipline, so spiritual science or science of the Brahman is purely based on the discipline given by the Vedas. Vedas are the most ancient scriptures of early Indo-Aryan culture. Literary, they are considered to be literary monuments. It has two parts. One is called mantra, consists of hymns and prayers. Another is called Brahmana, consists of rules and regulations. Again, Brahmana, in its later part, developed a system of which is called Aranyaka, dwelling in the forests. You should know that during that time, during ancient time, people understood the way of life and they planned life ahead. There was something in front of them to attain, which we do not find today. Our energies are dissipated and distracted so much that when we come in the evening, sit down quietly, close our eyes, we get frightened and then we don't like to meditate. Many of us are afraid of meditation because we cannot face ourselves. We don't want to. We don't want to understand the way we think, the way we have been doing things, conducting ourselves. The day we understand how to create a bridge between the two, interior self and external life, that day will be a great day for the humanity, and life will be a poem, a poetry, and a song. It would be worth living. You see. So during that Vedic period, there were seers. The knowledge of Vedas was not human knowledge. It did not come from human mind, through human mind. Knowledge comes from mainly three sources. Knowledge through senses, through sense perceptualization, through mental conceptualization, and then it rolls down from the infinite library which is far beyond our senses, mind, ego and intellect. Finest of knowledge is that knowledge which does not need any evidence. Am I right doing all this? It means you want confirmation. You want someone's support. You want someone to help you and say, yes, you are right, do this. But when you learn to receive that knowledge, you are prepared to receive that knowledge, which is called intuitive knowledge, then you do not need to ask anyone. You do not have conflicts in your mind, which is the mother of all problems. Conflict within brings conflict outside, and life becomes impossible. You are free from the conflicts when you come in touch with that. Knowledge on these three dimensions is valid. We need knowledge of the senses. We need knowledge through our mind. But many poets have said, my knowledge is not through mind, my knowledge is through vision. That's what the great seers said in the past. Something, somewhere, even great philosophers came in touch with the negativity of life. And they got afraid of being reborn. And one of the German philosopher and poet said, death is sweet. Sleep is sweet and death is better. But best is not to be born. And what I say? Once you are born, no need of telling that sleep is sweet and death is better. You have to find a way of liberation. So don't be sorry that you are born. Make effort and attain that is to be attained in this lifetime. Do not postpone that attainment for next life. Heavenly joys, according to the Vedas and Upanishads, are great, but once you have gone to heaven, you have enjoyed all the heavenly grace. Finally, you come back to the same earth, and you are caught by the snare of death and birth again and again. You see, to be pessimistic and negative, that I am afraid of being born, many a times I myself think, my Lord, if I am reborn again I will have to work hard from the very beginning. Going to a teacher, from one teacher to another teacher, having kicks and blows from different teachers. You see, sometimes meeting a good teacher, sometimes a bad teacher. You see, I will have a very serious problem. But that fear makes me aware, now I have to complete my task. And that task is self-realization. You see, the theme of the Upanishad is pure knowledge that loosens the bondage, self-created bondage. This is mine, this is not mine, this is thine and this is mine. When we know that nothing belongs to you, man, though all things in the world are given to you, let you learn to use them, as Saint Bernard also said. Oh man, things of the world are meant for you, enjoy them. But do not get attached to them. Love God alone. Now, when we hear the word God, or self, Atman or Brahman, we get confused. We don't see anything outside who is called Atman or God or Brahman. The Upanishad says that there are two kinds of knowledge. A knowledge of this shore and knowledge of the other shore. Knowledge of the external world and knowledge of the interior self, which is called Vidya, Para Vidya and Apara Vidya. That which is beyond the sense perception is called Para Vidya. That which can be grasped by our senses is called Apara Vidya. So we know we need them both. We need to understand the knowledge of the world, how to function in the world, also is necessary. But that is not enough. When boat leaves us on the other shore, what do we do with the boat? Do we carry boat with us? We take leave of the boat there and start walking. You see. Let us understand the difference between the means and the purpose. The purpose of human life is to attain the self of all, or absolute self, or highest knowledge that liberates you. But for that, you need to live in the world, and yet you need to understand the world around you. You need to adjust yourself, and you need to adjust and function in a way so that you remain content and yet function in the external world properly. The teachings of the Upanishads are ever young, ever green, and therefore they should be understood properly. How do you study Upanishads? Panditji must have spoken on this subject. Often a student worries for a teacher. I wish I had a good teacher. Have you completed your role? Have you done your duties? Are you prepared to have a teacher? The ancient saying is, when the student is ready, teacher appears. You should prepare yourself for teacher. Teacher will come. Teacher will appear. Gandhi, in a very simple language, said, when someone, Britisher, was interviewing him, he said, if you want to know truth, practice truth with mind, action and speech. And suppose you are committing blunder in following truth, by the quest of truth, it will be set right. Do not worry when you walk on the path of light and life, when you are doing something nice in the external world. Do not get confused, do not be dismayed, do not have conflict whether it is right or wrong. If you are really doing something right by the quest of truth, you will be always doing right. Remember this. The sayings of the Upanishads are great, but it has a particular system. The science of Brahman, the science of Atman, is a science which is called exact science. Those who have studied some yoga literature, they know that behind yogic science there is a philosophy that is called Sankhya philosophy. Samyak Akhyate, that which explains the whole. Digital, philosophy of digits. You see. All the sciences depend on the mathematics. Here, if there was no system of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there will be no system of time. Then you won't know anything about time, space and causation. So there is a system of studying Upanishadic literature. This literature is considered to be eternal, because it has not come through human mind. Why is it called eternal? No human being thought of it. It's not like another thought or philosophy which grows in time to come. All the Vedas appeared at the same time, and they are called aparushiya, impersonal. The first one, the first man who was born was called Brahma. It's not Brahman. There are 3 words we have explained in the flyer you have. Brahma, Brahman and Brahmana. Our aim is to attain Brahman, the highest one, the absolute truth without second. Brahma the Prajapati, firstborn, was given this teaching by the Providence, and then he started teaching it to his disciples. But those teachings, are those teachings relevant in today's time? They are. They are teachings about truth. The definition of truth according to Vedas and Upanishads is that which is self-existent. It does not need support from any quarters. One definition. Second, that which was never born. So if something was not born, it won't die. It was eternal. That never changes. That which does not go through changes, does not go through change, death, decay and decomposition, that truth which is evergreen, ever young, we are talking about that truth. We are talking about absolute truth. This sort of knowledge, according to Vedas, is called Shruti. When the great seers and sages dived deep into the deeper levels of their beings in deep meditation, they heard the sounds, and the first sound they heard called Om, very peaceful sound. In Christian church also they say Amen. Islam also says Amen. So on. Om. A, U, Ma. A, U, M. First syllable. Now I'll tell you. Those who know music, in music there were two letters first. They found out two letters. One is called Sa and another is called Ma. Sa and Ma. Between Sa and Ma, there are other notes they found out. That's why one of the Vedas is called Sama Veda. Sa, Ma becomes Sama. So all 7 keynotes were found by the rishis. 7 main keynotes were found by the rishis in ancient times. Then their students explored between Sa and Ma other notes. Re, Ga. And actually there are only 4 notes. Pa is the station. And same notes are repeated. Dha, Ni, Sa. They knew the science of the sounds. Their language, the Vedic language, was the language based on those sounds. Now, mutter any sound from your mouth, close your mouth and let you hum. Will you hum A, B, C, D? Will you hum Alif, Be, Pe, Te, Te, Se? What will you hum? Om. You cannot hum anything. Now, first alpha of Om, letter comes A. How did they find that A? They started studying the language which is spoken between the two, the language of love between the newborn baby and her mother. They speak a language no one understands, but they understand perfectly, mother and child. They communicate well. Now see, follow what I am saying. The child says, First sound, letter, child mutters is ah. Child cries, not the same ah extended into ah, ah, ah. If no one comes, child does not hear any sound, then that child goes to higher pitch of E, E. And when child hears a sound, that sound goes automatically to O. O. And when mother comes near and touches her, that becomes O. O, O. And when mother is touched, mother touches the child and finds solace, and in ah the child sleeps. Real language is a language of love. Sometimes we don't have to speak. Sometimes we don't have to talk. My master often used to say, because for want of attention, you can kill me, I understand that. If I don't talk to you for a long time, you get angry, you start talking nonsense against me. This is true, this happens. And I don't feel bad, because same thing I used to do. For want of attention, I would break the glass, I will do anything. And one says, hey, what are you doing? It was sufficient for me. It's a human way, see. So my master always used to say, learn to understand that greatest of all friends is within you. It's good to have good company in the external world, but let you understand that greatest of all your friends is within you, and that is your Atman, which is seated beyond your senses and mind. And once you have established friendship with that, you are never lonely. No matter how many diseases science finds out, all diseases are diseases, they are bad. But greatest, most injurious disease today and in ancient time, it was one and the same, and that's called loneliness. Where you have everything and yet you are lonely. Because you are searching in the external world. Simply if you change the course of your search and start searching within and be friends to your Atman, you will be not lonely. You see. You cannot be lonely. But alas, no one teaches you how to look within, how to see within, and how to find within. Whole day you lead your mind to the external world. So mind refuses to go to deeper aspects of your being. One serious problem. You practice 5 minutes meditation. Mind says, whole day you keep me busy in the external world, and for 5 minutes you want to be sage. How it is possible? But if you understand the technique, 5 minutes meditation will make you aware of the fact. That's called meditation in action. You are doing your work, doing your duties, and yet you are in meditation, being aware of the reality within. Constant reality will lead you to enlightenment. Upanishads do not compromise for one reason. They say, that which is ignorance. Light is light and darkness is darkness, and there is no compromise at all. If you put a light in threshold, there will be no darkness. If you learn to create a bridge between the interior self of yours and external world, there will be no ignorance at all. But words are easy, and words do not cook the rice. Yeah. We need to understand the whole process, whole method. And Upanishads explain this whole method. Upanishadic prayer is different sort of prayer. Upanishad teachings are different. You have to understand symbols of the Upanishads. I will tell you how the ancients used symbols. This way you can understand this symbolic language needs explanation. The teacher should know all the symbols exactly before he teaches his students. Entire language is symbolic. I understood that. When my master was in silence, I used to jabber too much because there was no child to play with. So he was my friend and father and everything, so I used to talk all the time. So one day I asked him, I said, did you hear? He said, no. For half an hour I talked to him, and in the end he said, no, I haven't heard anything. I said, why? He said, when you jabber too much, I take off. He said, this is a new practice. I found out after. So remember, those who talk much, most of the times, speak nonsense. Learn to understand that. Learn to understand one thing. Which way are you misusing your powers? There are many avenues in the body through which you drain your power and energy. Someone through speech, someone through thinking, someone through hearing, someone through sex, someone through eating. Somehow or other we human beings become victim, and we call it let out. It's not actually let out. It is not understanding how to use our energy. The energy that is already with us. If we understand, or if anyone understands the syllable Om, he understands whole universe. He understands everything. A represents A-U-M. A represents waking state. U, dreaming state. M, sleeping state. But there is one silent part of Om that leads you to the fourth state, which is called Turiya, state beyond, from where you can see all three states. You can observe all three states, sleeping, dreaming, and waking. A real yogi is he who knows how to attain that state when he can see that my body is taking deep rest. He checks his body. Is it in rest? Is it rested? Which part of my body is not rested? This prayer, a particular Upanishads on which we are speaking, relates to that. Nowhere you will find tranquility of the body. You all have heard tranquility of the mind. Tranquility of the body means anything which is directly related to your body, such as eating, doing sex, going to sleep, Wherever you are working with your body, if you try to understand or arrange all your 4 primitive fountains, bring to a point of tranquility. It's called tranquil body. In this Upanishad, there is a prayer. In that prayer, it said, "O Lord," which I will be reciting after explaining to you, "let our body be tranquil." Means anything we do through our body, it should be perfect. Though sometimes to be perfect is perfectly boring. But, as the Upanishads say, "O human being, you should learn to be perfect first. Never try to be God. Never try to seduce God. Never try to form bad habit of praying in a way so that you do not grow. Like a child asks all the time, 'Mummy, give me this, mummy, give me this, mummy, give me this.' In whole life, if he goes on repeating, 'Give me this and give me this,' what will he become? He will become a beggar. He will remain a beggar throughout, dependent on other sources, wanting to have a mummy to get something all the time. There is no growth in his life. Upanishadic teachings make you aware that ye human beings, you are fully equipped to attain the kingdom of Atman, to attain your true self, which is self of all, and be free from all problems, pains, miseries, and ignorance. Dusant says, a Western writer of the Upanishads, that the theme of the Upanishads is Atman and Paramatman, soul, individual soul, and God. He wanted to explain in Western terms, but he could not. Perhaps he did not dive deep into this, into the depth of the Upanishads. If you read the Upanishads by yourself, you will not understand anything. Now, once, I'll give you an example. You read in the Upanishads, Ekoham Bahutyami, I am one absolute without second, but I am many. Second time you read, Ekoham Dutiyo Nasti, I am only one absolute, there is no second. How about many? Again you read, Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya, Brahman alone, absolute truth alone is self-existent, and this relative existence is false. Another place it is written, Idam Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. This is all Brahman. This is all truth. A student gets confused. Patanjali, the codifier of yoga science, says that Western writers say that Vedic knowledge is not, Vedic Vedas are not impersonal. He says, I do not talk about the words, but the knowledge that is carried by the words is purely knowledge beyond. It cannot come through human mind. Shankaracharya also says one and the same thing. They are called revelations. These revelations came through Brahma. one who was born first. And then that first born created this universe. When you study Upanishads, you study Upanishads from a teacher who has learned Upanishad from his teachers. This is a lineage. Either this knowledge was imparted to get lesson of a rishi or to his favorite disciple. If son was not capable of learning, they wouldn't impart that knowledge to them. Preparation is very important. If you prepare yourself, if you learn to discipline yourself, then you can attain that which is deep down within you, but having such a great Atman within you, the source of knowledge, you are still ignorant, and that is a sad plight. So Upanishads say, "O modern man, finally you have to come home, and one day you'll realize and know that the answers which you are seeking today, physical scientists are seeking, they will find that answer there." They say, "Anoraniyan mahito mahiyan." Was the expert today, physics are trying to find out in the atom. So no, it's more finer than atom. And they have, if you have latest information, they have dissected the atom also. When they search for another dimension, they find energy behavior is entirely different there. So as the science is trying to understand all the different spheres, yoga science had understood long ago 7 spheres in the human body, how energy functions. And what is that finest of all energies? So far I have been telling you that there is a body, and your body is related to your mind, thinking self, with the help of 2 pranas. But this time I am going to tell you, these are gross pranas. Actual pranas go beyond mind. And Upanishad discusses that. That which helps even mind to function is also called prana. Many Western readers are confused when they hear about Ashwamedh Yajna, which they call sacrifice. They think that during ancient times, Aryans used to sacrifice. That is not true. During that time, 3 yajnas were very prominent. 3 sacrifices were very prominent. Now listen to me. Gomedh Yajna. Go means senses. And go means cow. So what happened? The wise understood having control over the senses, and the foolish went to the cow and killed the cow. There is something strange in Sanskrit language. You see, now I'll tell you. I say, It has many meanings, such as Agni. Agni means fire. It has more than 40 meanings. Suppose I am eating food and I say, Saindhavanaya. Saindhav means horse, breeded on the banks of Sindhu river, and Saindhav means salt. While eating, which one should you bring to me? It clearly shows that I need salt. Saindhavanaya, if I am outside in my dress of breeches and having whip and just going to play polo, I definitely need horse. I don't need salt there. So those who do not understand what those yajnas were during that time, they don't understand. Ashwamedha yajna was another famous yajna during that time. You see. Ashwa means speed or force. O human being, whatever force you have, attain the highest speed. What is the way of attaining the highest speed? You see. What is the highest speed in human being? If the human being knows how much time does it take for the sun rays to come us, then he will come to know that there are many stars which are bigger than the sun, and even up to today, after the creation of this world, rays did not reach us from many stars. They are still to come to us. They are so far from us, though the speed of the sun rays is like that. Higher, more faster is our mind. That is considered to be, that yajna was performed, that ritual was performed to speed up the mind, to know the force of life, and with the help of that force of life which is beyond mind, which is called real prana, how to make mind speedy so that mind can attain something which is not attainable by ordinary minds. In yajna, in the rituals, there are 18 ritus used. Elements are considered to be the bhumi where the yajna is performed. Suppose I am making a sacred fire here. For this sacred fire, 5 elements. 5 elements means earth, fire, water, air, and space or ether. 5 senses, 10. 5 pranas, how many? No, 2 pranas. Inhalation and exhalation, how many? You are not counting properly. 5 elements and 5 senses, 10. 2 pranas, 12. This then can mind, ego, and chitta. How many? 15. Then comes buddhi, 16. Then comes super buddhi, not mere intellect, but buddhi, which helps you in enlightenment. And then comes Jivatma, the individual soul. These 18 are performing a ritual. This ritual is being performed by 18, and we have come to perform this ritual. So Vedas are talking about the rituals which is not understood by the modern man. Now the Upanishadic prayer says that. Om. Om is the nucleus, and whole universe is its expansion. With our ears, may we hear what is good. Not that what is pleasant. There is difference between pleasant and good. Pleasant is that which pleases, which is pleasing to our senses, which can soothe our minds, but that's not good. That which is good means that which is helpful, enlightening to us. And with our eyes may we behold thy righteousness, Lord. So we aspire, the prayer says, let us aspire to hear. That is good. What is good? Sayings of the Bible, sayings of the Upanishads, sayings of the sages. Let us hear again and again about the Atman, so that an aspirant gets eager, gets prepared to understand, to tread the path of light and knowledge. That's why again and again they say, with our ears may we hear what is good. Now go back to the Bible, book of Revelations. If you have an ear to hear, you hear it. It is not written, if you have ears to hear. We have 2 ears. So one who received the revelations and the Lord who gave revelations both knew that human being have 2 ears. But it is written if you have an ear to hear, you hear it. It means when your whole being becomes an ear, then you hear it. That means that. When there is no distraction, when you hear it, means your whole attention, your mind is engaged in listening to something. Then during that time, you don't have ears, you have a ear. Ear to hear. When you have an eye, you see it. When your whole being becomes eye, what will be your vision? At present your vision is very narrow. You are seeing through a small window. When you go out of this room, you see whole horizon. How to train that mind so that that mind becomes one-pointed? You always pray to God that you hear that which is good. Through your eyes you behold that which is righteous, leading, helpful to you in your enlightenment. And here comes another word, tranquil in body. Tranquil in body, may we who worship thee find rest. You always have tranquility for mind, serenity for breath, healthy body. No, they say tranquil in body. Tranquil in body, tranquility in body is possible when all 5 elements, earth, water, fire, air and space, they all are functioning properly. 5 elements. If there is no tranquility in that, there will be disorder in the body. Yogis do learn the way of establishing tranquility in the body. Rare yogis, I am not talking of yogis in general, who follow beauty cult, practice only few physical exercises for the sake of body. I am talking of those rare ones who learn how to yoke themselves, as the Bible says, as thy yoke with the Supreme Self. Such yogis know how to establish tranquility in the body. Let our body be tranquil. What for? So that we worship Thee and find rest. If your worship, if your prayer do not lead you to peace of mind, do not lead you to a state of rest, it is of no use. What do? We pray to God when we need something. We have agreed in our mind, we need something, and then we pray to God, Lord, I need a car because my neighbor has a car. Lord, I need a good girlfriend because my another friend has got a good girlfriend. You have a lust in your mind and you are praying with that lust. How can you have rest? Your mind cannot be rested. Do not form a habit of praying for getting something all the time. Give me this and give me this and give me. This is called egocentric prayer. This is not called God-centric prayer. Let you not ask for anything. Let you ask for only one thing. O Lord, give me strength. Give me strength, my Lord. And that strength lies within you. That strength lies within you. So that your limbs function properly, your speech functions properly, your mind functions properly. So let you pray for the strength. Strength, strength, strength. Who is weak? According to the Upanishads. Weak is he, one who is sleeping. Not actual sleep. Actual sleep will give you rest. Who is in sloth? Who is in inertia? Who wants to sleep all the time? Who remains in inertia? For such people, Upanishads say, Uttishthata, get up, wake up. And don't go back again to that sloth. Keep awake. Awake means with full attention. Understand and know the purpose of life. Be aware of that. Prapya varanya bodhata. And gain knowledge, that knowledge which liberates you from all miseries and pains and helps you attain that state which is free, a state of freedom. So here it says, tranquil in body, may we who worship Thee find rest. Rest is very important for the body. But body will not get rest if there is no tranquility in the body. If 5 elements are not functioning in a tranquil way, there will be no rest. The human mind does not have rest if it wants to do something. If you have a desire to do something and you do something different, you will get the fruits according to your actions. But you want to have something and you are doing something different, how will you be in rest? Your body can be put into rest provided you know how to keep your body in tranquility, and that happens when you learn Tattva Vijnanam. 5 tattvas. How those tattvas function, how these elements function in your body. Your body is made out of 5 tattvas, 5 elements. Eyes, ears and whole body. Because here a student is preparing to understand, learn the Upanishadic teachings. How will he go after he has done this? Tadvid pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. He goes. How should he approach his teacher? Not this way, I have given you $100 to teach me. No. You have to be humble, pleasing, and prepared. You are prepared, as the prayer says, and after that you have to be humble. And then you ask questions. My master used to say, best of the teachings are imparted in silence. In silence means you don't go to your teacher and you never see your teacher, never put a question. You think it's the best teachings? When you have established perfect understanding with the teacher can communicate in silence, without words, without writing. It happens. You can learn, provided you are ready. You understand how to contact your teacher. There is another meaning for this. In the human body, above your Ajna Chakra, this is called Bhrikuti, space between the 2 eyebrows. There is another place, this is called Trikuti. This is the place of Guru within you. If you learn how to evoke this particular chakra, you will be receiving right knowledge, no matter how far your Guru is. Guru within you. The duty of a Guru outside you is to make you aware of the Guru within you. Now, what is your responsibility? At least 50%. And what is the responsibility of the Guru? Another 50%. What does he do in that responsibility? He will impart that unalloyed knowledge which he has received from his lineage. Knowledge does not belong to him. Have you ever seen anybody drinking finest wine in paper cup? Not possible. The best of the wine is used in the chalice. Knowledge should also come through right source. You do not use milk through gutter, coming through gutter. Guru lineage is that something which is unbroken lineage, where you become instrument, you receive the knowledge, and that knowledge you impart to your students who are prepared to receive that. 50% of the responsibility is students and 50 gurus. But Guru is only an instrument. The knowledge does not belong to him. Knowledge flows through him. He is only a messenger. He is only an instrument. Knowledge of the Upanishads do not belong to any Guru. Do not even belong to any seer or sage. Seers have only seen. They have heard the great sound, syllable like Om. They have seen the mantras, they have heard the mantras. Mantras belong to the infinite library of knowledge, intuitive library of the knowledge of the infinite. They do not belong to human mind. So prepare yourself to receive that knowledge which is impersonal. Because knowledge coming through senses is not perfect, knowledge coming through human mind is not perfect, but that knowledge which comes from beyond, beyond means within, beyond your mind, that knowledge is pure. That's why it is called finest of all knowledge. Seers in deep state of meditation received that knowledge, and the same knowledge was imparted, and for generation to generation it remained only oral teachings. No books were compiled. No books were written on it. There were no printing presses. So they were very exact in preserving that wealth of knowledge, the students. That's why teachers were very cautious in choosing the students. Those who were sharp, one-pointed, who knew the worth of austerity, they chose those students. For many, many thousand years, this knowledge remained between the teacher and the students. That's why it could not become popular. It could not go to the householders. It could not go to common people. Because there was nothing in print. What was the way during that time? What was the way of communication? The way of communication was symbol. I am going to explain one. With the help of this symbol, you will come to know how symbolism is important for the study of the deep knowledge given by the Upanishads. Have you seen elephant god? Many of you. How many of you have seen? Okay. A human being had an elephant head. Now, if you see when Westerner comes and sees, see, these Hindus, these Indians are stupid, foolish. What is all this? Human body having elephant head? And this man doesn't do exercise. Look at his belly. How big is it? Like Japanese wrestler. And there was a mice next to it. They did not have sense of the horse or donkeys or mules or other animals. Why poor rat or mice was next to it? You see. And that man was wearing, having the elephant head, was wearing, threads. 3 threads. And that mare had a little bowl of good laddus, sweets. How selfish is he? He eats sweets. Who is this man? How it is possible? Why do they see? It's a symbol, actually. The ancients, when they did not have any way of communicating to their future generation, they started teaching with the symbols. Those who understand something about animal kingdom, they come to know elephant is very healthy animal. Very healthy. Strong animal. And pure vegetarian. Does not live on somebody's flesh or meat. Very intelligent, very brilliant animal. very sensitive. I don't think horse or dog can be compared with animals' intelligence. It is a picture of Ganapati. Gana means subject, Pati means king, leader. Who should be the leader? The question came, who should lead the society? What qualities should he have? What kind of qualities that great man should have who leads the society, who lead the masses? They wanted to tell to their future generation. So they put head and trunk of the elephant. That leader who leads the society should be non-violent. Should not live on somebody's flesh, somebody's pocket. Should be very pure, very intelligent, brilliant, and very strong, like elephant. He should have power of absorbing things. A leader receives many suggestions in a day. He should have big belly. He should be responsible to conduct his duties, those ceremonial thread. In waking, dreaming, and sleeping, in all states, he should be careful. He should look after, you see, the welfare of the people. What that little mice did? His counsel should be like mice. If by chance he is entangled, you see, in confusion, let that mice cut the net and give him freedom. It's a symbol. It's not actually you go and make a head of an elephant and start worshipping. It's a great symbol. There are symbols explained in the Upanishadic, in the Vedic periods, people do not understand. As your modern English dictionary explains the meaning of sacrifice. Sacrifice means offering, killing an animal. In Vedic sacrifice, the ritual was performed to kill the animal in man, not to kill the animals outside. Because man is compound of three elements: animal in him, human in him, and divine in him. That is why Shiva is called Pashupati, Lord of the animals. You see, conqueror of the animal in human being. Such ceremonies were performed. But there was another section of people. Society was arranged in a beautiful way. Every human being had awareness that his span of life was actually not less than 100 years. So they planned for whole 100 years ahead. 25 years as a student, brahmacharya. When a student learns all about the world, all sciences, economics, science, grammar, music, arts, the art of living and being, you see, and gets ready to enter into another ashrama. What did they learn during that time? Dharma. Family means miniature world. To live in a family is not a joke. If you learn to live in a small family and understand what family is, which is miniature universe, then you know how to live in the vast world. Then you can accept this world as Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Then you can claim, whole world is my family. But if you do not claim your own family as your own family, how can you have this claim? You should learn that art where you say, all the people of my family, though think differently, yet have one and the same aim. Those great rishis or shares of Vedic lore were not only men, they were women also. There was no such discrimination during that time. There were women's shares also. Great shares like Maitri, Katyani, Sulabha, great shares. Janaka, the famous great yogi Janaka, set an exclusive example, had a great teacher, Sulabha. There was equality in their behavior. In marriage ceremony, the mantras explained beautifully. When man accepts woman as his wedded wife and woman accepts man as her husband, samani akuti samanani hridayani cha. The priest explains this from Satpat Brahmana. You have to understand the sense of equality. You should learn to respect each other equally. No one is superior and no one is inferior. It's like two wheels of the same chariot. So during that time, wife and husband did not have aim only to use each other and then divorce them. No. They were like two wheels of the same chariot, and goal attainment was the self-realization. That consciousness was there. There was perfect understanding in the home. When home was perfect, there was understanding, then member of that home could say, whole world is my home. That was a training ground. From home, they used to radiate love to the world. Now, home expects love coming from outside. That's why the homes are crumbling today. How can we again come back home and establish that? So first 25 years, a student, a human being was prepared to understand his dharma. How should he live in the world? What was the way of living in the world? How should he prosper in the world? Second 25 years, how should he earn his means? And then, how should he enjoy life, what is called life on the earth? If you have something and you do not know how to use it, you do not know how to enjoy that something, it's of no use having things. As modern man has everything, but he doesn't know how to enjoy things of the world because he has no power, he has no strength to enjoy it. He wants to enjoy, he has a desire to enjoy, he has things to enjoy, he has means to enjoy, but he doesn't find the strength to enjoy. His mind is so much dissipated. He buys car, then he worries, how about radio on the car? That lust leads him more. Why radio? It should be TV on the car. One after another, he is tossed around by his desires. Fourth is moksha, liberation. Liberation from where? Because when you live in the world, 75 years, you grow attachment. This is my mother, this is my father, this is my brother, this is my sister, this is my friend, this is my city, this is my country, this is my state. You go on having this and this and this and that. You grow attachment to the things of the world. You forget that you are on a journey. You have to go through this procession of life without getting entangled. You get trapped by your own attachments to the things of the world, which are not actually yours, but given to you. And you should know how to use them, and instead of knowing how to use them, you start possessing them. This is mine, this is mine, this is mine. So, self-created misery. Then finally, wife and husband decide to go to forest dwellings. Forest dwellings, they hand over all that they have to their children. It has two reasons. In old age, children don't care for the parents. So wise parents say, why not give up everything to the children and better go? We don't want to experience that day when the children do not care for us. So there was a tradition, Banaprastha, Aranyaka tradition. The wife and husband went to the forest dwellings and there helped each other. They realized the day will come when we will leave each other. They knew it in the beginning, but they did not realize it. They start realizing there. And fourth step is sannyasa, when they become wandering monks. No ishnas, no wife, no children, no wealth, nothing, man. I am thine and thou art mine. They practice meditation. Then there were no articles to perform yajna, to perform ceremonies there. So from physical to mental, they started doing things mental. So what did they do in the forest dwellings? Mental puja. And from mental, higher up to spiritual puja. And finally they became monks, wanderings. Mundaka means monk, shaven head. The word Mundaka means shaven head. One who has shaved his head. When you become monk, you, according to the tradition, shave your head. That denotes that you are a monk. You have renounced the world. That's why this word, Upanishad, is called Mundaka, because those who were renunciates, they learnt this Upanishad from their guru lineage. So I leave you here.